All right, hello, I'm back. So, I hope you liked our reading of Soda Pop Head. So, remember in our story, our friend Lester got really mad and kind of blew his lid, as he called, or his bottle cap, as he called it. And his dad helped him to kind of calm down. So, in this video, I'm going to give you lots of different things that you can do if you are feeling upset or if you feel like you need to calm down. But before we go over all of those lovely calming strategies, we're going to review our zones that we talked about last week. So remember, we have our four zones, the zones of regulation, which we just call the zones because it's a little bit easier. So remember, the first one we talked about was our blue zone. And in our blue zone, we have feelings like sad, sick, bored, tired, hurt, moving slowly. So these are the ones when we don't have a lot of energy or maybe we're not feeling good. So a lot of times we feel in the blue zone right before we wake up, or right after we wake up, right before we go to bed, if we get sick. So those are the ones when we don't have a lot of energy. So to get out of our blue zone and move into our green zone, a lot of times we have to do things to bring our energy level back up. So if we're feeling tired, we need to do some different things to get our energy back up. And then we move into our green zone, which was our go zone, the zone that a lot of times we like to be in because it's easy. It's easy for us to learn if we're in the green zone. It's easy for us to play with our friends and our family if we're in the green zone. In our green zone, we have feelings like happy, calm, okay, focused, ready to learn. So it's our go zone, just like the stoplight. Green means go. It's really easy for us to learn and do our schoolwork when we're in our green zone. If we're in our green zone, we don't necessarily need to do a calming strategy to calm down, but we might need to do one to kind of stay in our green zone. And then our next one we might move into is our yellow zone, which is our warning zone. Just like in the traffic light, when it's green, you get to keep on going. When it turns yellow, a lot of times you have to slow down because it's warning you and letting you know that the red light is coming soon. So in our yellow zone, we have lots of different feelings and emotions. We have some that we like to feel, and we have some that we don't necessarily like to feel. Like we have worried and frustrated, embarrassed and scared. We also have silly and excited. So in this one, we have more energy than we do in our green zone. So that means that it can be harder for us to focus when we are in our yellow zone. Even though feeling silly and excited might be fun, we might like to feel those, it's hard for us to focus and do our work. That is why they are in our yellow zone, so our warning zone. So when we hit our yellow zone, this is the great time, the perfect time to start using some of those coping and calming strategies that I'm going to talk about. Because if we don't do that, a lot of times we move into our red zone. And again, remember, like I told you last week, it is not a bad zone. While it might not be comfortable to be in, it is okay to be in the red zone. It is okay to be mad. It is okay to be angry. But like Lester's dad told us, it's what we do with those strong feelings that matter. So in our red zone, we have things like mad, angry, terrified, which is super, super, super scared. We have out of control, and we have elated, which is over the top happy, the happiest feeling you can imagine. So when we hit our red zone, our stop, just like the stoplight or a stop sign, red means we have to stop. We have to calm down because we are having a very hard time controlling our body when we are in the red zone. And a lot of times when we're in the red zone, we might do or say something that might hurt somebody else's feelings, might hurt something, or might hurt ourselves. So when we are in here, our yellow and our red zone, we need to use one of our coping or our calming strategies to help get us back to our green zone. So now that we've talked about that, I'm going to take it down and we are going to talk all about, well, what can we do if we start to get to our yellow or our green zone, or yellow or our red zone? What can we do about that? The good news, there are lots of things you can do. And I am sure some of these will work great for you. Others might not, but that's okay. The trick is to find out what will work for you. So I'm going to go through all of these. Some of them you might need something to do them. So if you don't have that at home, that's okay. Just pick a different one. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to get started. We're going to start up here. The first one, this one is one of my absolute favorites because it's easy to do. Move us a little bit closer so we can see. I know the pictures are tiny. Okay, so the first one says, think happy thoughts. So that's really easy to do, right? Because we don't need anything. We can do it anywhere at any time. So maybe if you were feeling, this one might work if you're feeling sad, or if you're feeling kind of frustrated, thinking of something that makes you feel happy can actually calm us down. The next one I have is to get a drink of water. When at school, a lot of times I will tell students to go ahead and get a drink of water because that takes us out of what is making us upset, takes us out of the situation, and kind of calms us down. And like Lester's dad told him in our story, we need to eat good, healthy foods, and drinking water is part of that. So sometimes our body just needs some more water to calm down. All right, if you can and you like it, you can play with Play-Doh or you can play putty. Sometimes just squeezing that can be really relaxing. This works really good a lot of times if we're frustrated or even if we're mad and we feel like we want to do something with our hands. Another one of my favorites, because again, it's really easy to do and you can do it anywhere at any time, is to go ahead and take a deep breath. Remember, we want to use our belly breathing. So when we do that, we only want to feel our belly moving. We want to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And as we breathe in, we push our air all the way down and try to fill up our belly with a bunch of air. And then we breathe that air back out through our mouth. And we go nice and slowly. We don't want to go too fast and kind of work ourselves up. So that's one way that you can take a deep breath. Again, just like thinking happy thoughts, that's a really good, easy one that we can do. Next, we have go for a walk. So ask your parents, your mom, dad, or whoever else you live with, an adult, if maybe you can go for a walk if you need to. This works great if you're starting to get overwhelmed, maybe with your work. Go ahead, take a quick walk, come back. A lot of times you're going to feel much better. Build. If you have Legos or blocks, playing or building with them for a little bit can calm us down because it helps to relax us. And if it's something that we like to do, it's a great choice if you can. Again, drawing. Just like building, it kind of changes our focus. You can color some things. You can draw your own pictures. Maybe you could draw about what is making you upset, especially if you're having a hard time talking about it. If it's hard for you to talk about, or maybe you don't want to use your words right now, you can draw about what's making you upset, and you can help an adult figure it out so they can help you work through the problem. Again, we could do a puzzle, just like building. Sometimes doing something with our hands and distracting us is a really good option. Next, we can do yoga. There's lots of great videos online if yoga is something you would like to try. It really does relax us and it's good for us. It's an exercise, so it gets our body moving. So if that is something you would like to try, have your parents help you. You can look online for different yoga videos that you could try, or even some different yoga pictures that you could try. Reading, if you like to read and it doesn't frustrate or upset you, it's another good option that you can try if you're feeling like you need to calm down. If you don't like to read and it is not relaxing for you, then it is not going to be a good choice for you to do. You want to pick something else, because I know not all of us like to read. Some of us it is frustrating because it can be hard. So maybe just go ahead and pick something else then, okay? Next, another one of my favorites is counting. Counting to 10. When we count to 10, we slow down and we stop ourselves. It gives our brain more time to think about what is going on so we don't react as quickly. So if we are starting to get really frustrated, or maybe really angry even, especially if we're getting angry at somebody else, maybe because of what they said to us or what they did, if we can stop ourselves and we can count to 10, we will make a better choice because we've given ourselves time than if we just react right away. So counting to 10 is another one of my personal favorites to use. Just like yoga, you can also stretch. So getting our body moving can help to relax us and relieve some of the tight muscles that happen when we start to get angry. This is another one that you will need something for, but if you have it, blowing a pinwheel and then making it spin around is a very relaxing way, and it helps us to take deep breaths because you have to breathe in really deep and blow out the air to get the pinwheel to move. Having a snack. Just like when we getting a drink of water, and like Lester's dad told him, our body needs food and water to have energy. And when we have good, healthy foods, that helps our brain to work the best it can. So sometimes we need to just have a snack. Maybe we're getting very hungry. I know that there's a term a lot of times people use called hangry, which means that when you're angry or when you're hungry, you get angry much easier. So sometimes we just need to eat a little bit something and we start to feel much better. Again, jumping jacks, another great way to get our body moving. Maybe if we're in the blue zone and we're feeling kind of tired or bored or just have very little energy, get up and try to do some jumping jacks, get moving. Also, it might help if you're feeling really starting to get a little frustrated or overwhelmed. If we can get some of our energy out in a way like doing jumping jacks, which is a positive or a good way to get our energy out, that can help us start to calm down. Sitting. Sometimes we just need to sit and take a quick break. Looking at photos. So, photos a lot of times are good memories of things that have happened. So if you have a photo that you really like, maybe it brings back a really happy memory for you, or it's a picture of people that you really care about, go ahead and look at it. That might make you feel a lot better. Chewing gums. This is something we need to ask our parents for or the adults that take care of us for. But again, it's just like having a snack and getting a drink of water. Sometimes that really does help us to calm down, but make sure that you ask somebody for permission before you chew gum. It might be okay, but it might also not be okay. At school, that is not something that we get to do, but you might be able to do it at home. Listening to music really helps to relax us. I know that is something that I like to do. I like to put on music and listen to it. Sometimes I listen to it while I work. As long as it doesn't distract us, it can be a really good thing. Maybe put some music on too that you like to listen to. You can dance to it to feel better. Or maybe if you need to calm down, you can just put on some nice relaxing music. Squeezing something, like Lester's dad was talking about too. Our muscles, if we screw on that cap really tight, our muscles are really tight and tense. So if we squeeze something, we can kind of start to relieve some of that tension and relax ourselves. So if you have a stress ball at home, you can squeeze that. If you don't, you can squeeze things like stuffed animals, anything that's soft, you could squeeze. And that is actually another great strategy to use. Alrighty, down here we have asking for a hug. Sometimes we just feel like we need a hug to feel better, and that's okay. So we want to ask somebody. Remember, it's always important that we ask somebody before we touch them. So we want to ask somebody for a hug, maybe mom, dad, or another adult that is taking care of us. This is another one that you would need something for, but that's okay. If you have a sensory bottle at home, these are ones that might have glitter in them or other things to look at. You can shake it up and look at the bottle. If you like that idea, you can find lots of different recipes or instructions online to make them. So you can look up a sensory bottle. They can be very calming to look at. Just two more. Pushing the wall. Again, this isn't something you're not going to push the wall over. So when we push the wall, we get to get a lot of that energy and tension out without hurting ourselves or without hurting somebody else or something. So it is okay to just go ahead and push against the wall. I find that this one works best when we're really angry and we feel like we might want to hit something or someone, we can push the wall instead. And our last one is just exercise. So this goes along with, in this picture, he's riding a bike. You could ride a bike. You can go for a walk, do your yoga. You can stretch, jumping jacks. You can run. Lots of different exercises that we can do. I know that this was a lot of different choices, but the important thing to remember is you want to find the ones that work for you. So maybe you want to keep 3 to 5 that you know work really well. So you might have to test them out. And then you'll find the ones. I know for me, if I am upset and I need to calm down, I do things like I take deep breaths, I count to 10, I might go on a walk if it's really nice. That really helps to clear my head and calm me down. I also like to listen to music and I like to think happy thoughts. So, those are some of the strategies that I use when I'm feeling upset. I hope that this was helpful for you and gave you some really good ideas. Remember, it is okay to be upset. It is okay to feel any feeling. It's okay to feel sad, to feel scared, to feel happy. But remember, it's what we do with our feelings that matter. So when we are feeling frustrated, upset, or angry, we want to try to do a few of these to see if we can kind of calm ourselves down. I hope that everybody is staying safe and healthy out there. Make sure we're taking care of ourselves. We're drinking lots of water, eating lots of good food, getting good sleep. Try to get outside if you can, stay active, and of course, make sure you wash your hands a bunch. I hope that everybody is doing well out there, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.